All right, guys. So in the last video, I talked about my bear shaft and that this one was a little warped. I had noticed one was a little wonky, blah, blah, blah. I went into all that. 8-minute update. Long story short, this one ain't a serviceable arrow if I really want perfect accuracy. I'm going to try and correct it, and we'll go into that in a future video. But for this one, I wanted to cover why I don't actually have any target arrows anymore. Okay, right away when I made these, I noticed they were coming out very, very accurately. But as they broke in, one of them is very, very consistent at shooting just slightly to the right, but perfectly on centered of where I wanted, but just barely to the right. And then when I flip the fletching over, it's a little more to the right. Well, that's actually really good for windage. It doesn't adjust for elevation, but it adjusts perfectly for windage and gives me two settings for how much it adjusts. The other one, its sister, does exactly the same, even though they rotate the same direction. They're made exactly the same. They look the same. I thought I did a perfect job on both, and they are very consistent, both of them, which indicates I did. One comes out consistently to the right, and one comes out consistently to the left. If I flip this one over, it's more to the left. If I flip this one over, it's more to the right. But that's ideal for adjusting for windage. Then there's this guy, where when I fire it just with the white fletch up, it's perfectly accurate. I can bullseye targets with it. It was my number one of the third set for quite a while. But when I flip it around, it aims a little high, but still dang centered. Well, that's perfect for elevation and gives me one that is centered. But every once in a while it comes out a little high. Well, that's not so bad because when you're shooting at longer range, this actually is a very good arrow to use. And when I flip it over, it shoots noticeably higher, but not by much, just a little. Well, that's perfect because if you're trying to shoot at longer range than it's dialed in for, all I have to do is flip it over and it's perfect. And if I'm aiming for something that's in the range it's dialed in for, it's going to come off bang accurate. It's so close. It's only, if it comes off higher, it's only going to be by a few millimeters, half an inch at the most. It will be accurate enough that it will smoke your target. And it's generally because you did your form wrong. I find when my form is perfect, it's perfect. But if my form's off just a little bit, it'll come pretty high. It's mostly in terms of the draw length. I put too much poundage on it, it jumps off the bow. Again, that's good for range. So as long as I give it a mild shot and then flip it over, if I need a really long shot that I'm really going to pull hard and the normal amount it jumps up a little bit when I pull hard and that's not enough, meaning I'm really outside my comfort range basically at the end of my limit, I can flip this over and now it aims up higher all on its own. It jumps up twice as high and it will really soar out for range. And with the way I did this early portion of the fletching, it makes really good speed. I've trimmed them down. They're lighter. I've increased the conical. I've done so much stuff with these to get this nice little design here. And they even have really intricately crafted little tips on each one that are exactly perfectly identical. That was really hard to do, but it came out really nice the first time. It came out perfect. Only one of these did I really screw up, even though this one technically has a problem where when I was cutting it with the scissors, it kind of was giving me a trouble getting onto the right angle and it ripped a little bit there, as you can see. But the other ones came out really, really nice and even and good. And that was all well and good. But it's still my best arrow. And it's because I did this just perfectly. It's weight balanced just perfectly. It's like a bullet. It so spins them so fast and so nice. In fact, all of these are so good. This one is another one that came out really nice. It's this one's sister. And it says a lot that I made them both and they came out so perfect. Only this one is shallower in its grip. So it doesn't spin as fast. But it's the second most accurate arrow. This one spins faster, which is better over longer range, and go figure it jumps up a little bit or a lot, depending on how I have the fletching arranged and how hard I pull it. Well, that's good for range, but it always seems to come out dead center, which is why it's in the third position. This is first, this is second, this is third. This one is only second because sometimes it doesn't hit the perfect center of the target. It'll come out a little off. But when I flip the fletching, it actually also has a useful effect for hunting. Every one of these has had this one doesn't seem to care at all. I flip the fletching, it makes no difference. But all of the other ones, it matters, and it exaggerates a tendency they already have. But each of these has a tendency that the others don't. Now this one, if this one goes high, this one should go low, right? Only it really doesn't. It tends to come out perfect, but sometimes it comes out just a little to the right, and sometimes it comes out just a little to the left. Not really. In fact, it'll miss, if it's going to miss, consistently just barely to the left, but it's like this one will hit the bullseye every time my form is perfect. This one, once in a while, I'm sure my form is perfect, and it still comes out a little bit off. I usually hit a little higher to the right, and it usually, if I miss, and it usually comes off a little left. And sometimes a little low left, a little high left, but a little left every time. So I know there's something going on there, and it's probably in the shaft again, because this has actually been a really good design on this fletching, and it flies great. But they are slightly different. On that one, as you can see, the tips are a little bigger. They come up a little higher, these little spiky points. And this was done to a lesser degree. And in the end, this is what's making it jump off, right? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a reason I have different fletchings for everything. These two are my wind fletchings. And you notice they're rolled over pretty hard to give them the lower diameter. And they have a big hook to help them grab as much air and rotate as fast as possible. It's one of the reasons they're great for wind, but it's also the reason they jump off right and left or high. They're spinning really, really fast. Whereas when you look at these two, this one has a pretty deep one, but it's done higher up. So it doesn't rub the riser. The original one that I made, that I stripped the fletchings off of that I was showing you, was also done down here. And I'm glad I didn't do that on all of them, because that ended up being the only mistake I made as a fletcher on these, was I put one of these too far down. Now you might think this one, because it's down here, sucks, but it actually is so soft and comes on so early that it's not a problem. It's actually before it starts rubbing, and when it starts rubbing is really right here. And if this area isn't really smooth, it's going to suck. Now on this one, this has been not an issue at all. In fact, it comes out so nice. I did a good job there. But any lower than this would have been a real problem, I've come to find out. Higher than this is okay, but then it would have come out bang straight all the time, and I wouldn't have one that's really cool for elevation. These, being curled less, would be really great, but then I wouldn't have one that's really great for shooting in the wind in each direction. Like, awesome. And this one, I could have done this deeper, but it wouldn't be as pinwheel straight as it is if I did. It would start to spin too fast and jump off the bow, and start to make too big of an indent here and start to impact on the riser, one of the two. And the harder you pull it, the more it's going to exacerbate whatever effect that's having is. Sometimes, though, those effects can be really beneficial, like aiming a little higher when you want it to, without you aiming higher, keeping your aim point the same, and the arrow doing all the work, or the arrow accounting for the wind. Well, in these cases, these two are pretty much perfect, but with different designs, and I love them both. These two, these are all coming out just perfect for a given purpose. This one for elevation changes, these two for wind changes. And in the end, that is why I no longer feel like I have target arrows. I'm actually going to put these aside, not shoot anymore. I've been shooting so much lately. Since I got these arrows, I've really run myself raw and stayed up a lot of late nights, guys, and shooting until 2 or 3 in the morning and wrecking my sleep. But I love the design process, and I do a lot of that, and I fine-tune things and adjust things, and this is the final with this set of 6 arrows, the video that I'm going to do, because I'm done shooting them. But not because they broke, and not because I don't like them, because they're now so perfect for my hunting quiver that I'm buying new arrows to target shoot. And my next batch, I'm going to buy 6 more just like this. And then I'm going to buy another 6 or a dozen of a different type. So I haven't decided what I'll do yet. If these being the cheaper ones, I'm probably going to go with a dozen of the cheapest ones, like these that are really good though, like these. And then I'll go for half a dozen of the really high-end ones that I can afford. So it'll come out that way. And I know that this will be worth my while, guys. This is what I'm going to do over the next month or two and try out different arrows and show you guys how that works. If I come up with different fletchings, I'll share those. So like, share, and subscribe. And as always, I will show you how to make really cool stuff from your own fletchings that are actually valuable for hunting. No joke, guys. Every one of these fletching types has a purpose. They have a specific design function. Now, I did say that this one had a specific design function, and I didn't really want to say what that was necessarily with these two. They are both designed for not armor piercing, but for penetration. This one gets really amazing penetration and really high arrow speeds and has really low resistance in the wind. This one sits a little higher, will get pushed around a little more in the wind, spins a little less rotation. But at closer range, this is my huckleberry. Not because it'll dive down, but the faster they spin, the more they want to tend to jump up, you might think, but it's the other way around. This one's perfectly accurate, and as soon as I pinpoint, and as soon as I flip it over, it's perfectly pinpoint accurate, but just shoots a little higher. Whereas this one shoots a little higher no matter what, and it's just slightly higher than this one. And when I flip it over, it shoots just a little higher than that. This is why these are my primary 3 arrows, because when it comes to elevation, this one's bang on, a little high, or bang on as I choose, and a little high, or a little higher, depending on what I want. And these ones are a little right, a little left, or more to the right and more to the left. Yo, you cannot ask for a better 5 arrows than that in your hunting quiver. In fact, I have gone through nightmare trouble trying to get arrows that did all that in the past. I finally have it right, guys. And these were the 5 shafts that were perfect. The nocks were well aligned. There was only really one that was really significantly a problem, and there it is. All the rest have been really good, and now they're so good at what they were designed to do that I'm not going to risk destroying them. I've thoroughly tested the shit out of them, broken them in so the point that they're nice and supple and they're not too stiff and all that. They're really perfect now. And now if I just keep shooting them for the fun of throwing them at a target, I'm going to ruin my best hunting arrows. Keith out.